We live in an age of breathtaking technology. Screens glow like the campfires of a new civilization. Money moves at the speed of a swipe. We say we've evolved beyond the empires that rose and fell before us. We claim to be wiser, more efficient, more advanced. But beneath the circuitry of modern life, the same human weaknesses pulse: ambition, greed, fear, and denial. Rome debased its silver to keep an empire alive. We digitize our dollars to keep a system afloat. Their fall took centuries. Ours could unfold in a single update. This moment, right now, isn't just a transition. It's the most profound monetary shift since ancient rulers first stamped their faces into metal. And when future historians write about us, they won't speak of our armies or our borders. They'll speak of data. They'll speak of screens. Welcome to the digital empire. Rome's collapse, rewritten for the modern age. For most of human civilization, money had mass. It glimmered in the sun, rang with a metallic hum, and carried the sweat of miners and the risk of explorers. Gold and silver were more than shiny objects. They were contracts unspoken, universal, unforgivable. When a merchant in Egypt, a soldier in Rome, or a trader in Persia held a coin, they didn't need to inspect the emperor's signature. The metal itself carried truth. Value was something you could touch. Rome perfected this system with the denarius's small silver coin that powered armies, trade, and taxation. It wasn't just currency, it was trust. A Roman soldier marched across continents with absolute faith that the coin in his pocket meant the same in Gaul, Judea, or Spain. But empires grow hungry. And hunger requires money. As Rome expanded, so did its expenses: armies to pay, walls to build, pensions to promise, emperors to please. At first, the people didn't notice. Then markets adjusted. Then soldiers demanded more pay. Then merchants refused to baste coins. Trust cracked. And once trust cracks, it never fully heals. Rome's decay began not with an enemy at the gates, but with a coin losing its meaning. Centuries later, humanity traded metal for promises. Paper notes backed by gold. Certificates representing something real locked away in vaults. Spain drained South America of silver and then spent itself into ruin. France printed assignats until bread cost a wheelbarrow of notes. Britain's pound ruled the world until war debts hollowed it out. The United States watched them all fall and believed it could resist the temptation. It couldn't. In 1971, the last tether to gold snapped. And a new era began, an era where central banks ruled not by metal, but by mathematics and belief. For decades, the illusion worked. Growth boomed. Credit expanded. Wealth soared. But the foundation was never stronger than the trust holding it up. And trust, once again, was priced far higher than reality. Then came the internet. Then smartphones. Then apps. And with them, a new kind of money that had no form, no weight, no shape, just data. Today, a generation grows up barely remembering cash. Money is whatever the screen says. It is a number that can change without sound or ceremony. Every transaction you make is captured, analyzed, stored. Every purchase feeds into invisible networks. Every digital dollar travels through layers of systems no one person fully understands. It feels modern, efficient, futuristic, but the ancient danger returns. Faith in the unseen. We trust servers more than silver. We trust apps more than assets. And we trust that the system holding it all together is too smart, too big, too advanced to fail. History has heard those words before. When the world froze in 2020, governments faced the same choice Rome once did. They could shrink. Or they could print. They didn't hesitate. Trillions poured into existence at the speed of a keystroke. Zeros multiplied. Screens updated. Balances swelled. Economists called it stimulus. Politicians called it relief. Central banks called it stability. But the truth was simpler. We were creating money faster than we were creating value. Rome took centuries to debase its currency. Modern nations did it in a digital instant. And the consequences followed. Grocery bills rising, rent climbing, savings eroding, middle-class families slipping. Inflation wasn't the disease. It was the symptom, the price of pretending that wealth can be manufactured by decree instead of productivity. Every empire that prints too much learns the same lesson. You can fake prosperity, but not for long. But printing money is no longer the final frontier. A more radical shift is unfolding. The transition to fully programmable currency. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCSR, being quietly tested from Beijing to Brussels. They're marketed as convenience, security, innovation. But beneath the sales pitch lies something unprecedented: the merging of currency with control. A CBDC is not cash. It is not a banknote. It is not even just digital. It is money written with instructions. Money that can expire. Money that can be restricted. Money that can be paused, reversed, or blocked. Money that can be tied to your identity, your carbon score, your political beliefs, your behavior. Imagine a world where stimulus disappears if you don't spend it fast enough, where your purchases are approved or declined by algorithms, where access to your own money depends on maintaining a compliant profile. Rome enforced loyalty with legions. Tomorrow's governments will enforce it with software. When money becomes permission, freedom becomes conditional. People imagine empires collapsing in a flash, cities burning, rulers fleeing, armies clashing. But history tells another story. Empires decay quietly, layer by layer, until the rot is too deep to hide. Rome's fall wasn't a single catastrophe. It was decades of small declines, silent losses, and public denial. Collapse finally arrives, not when systems break suddenly, but when people realize they no longer work. Our world works until it doesn't. Our money holds until belief slips. Our systems feel stable until a single glitch reveals their fragility. Today, every dollar you own is just data. Every asset is a promise. Every balance relies on a server you will never see. That is not stability. It is hope disguised as certainty. Look across history, and the pattern becomes undeniable. Innovation sparks growth. Growth sparks ambition. Ambition sparks excess. Excess sparks collapse. Rome innovated with roads and law, then drowned in decadence. Britain innovated with ships and trade, then suffocated under debt. America innovated with industry and technology, and now faces the same trap: an empire stretched thin by cost, credit, and confidence alone. We always think we're different. We always think we're wiser. We always think collapse belongs to the past. But history is patient. Its lessons return until they are learned. And yet, collapse is not annihilation. Collapse is transformation. When Rome fell, its empire died, but its ideas lived for 1,000 years. Its laws shaped nations. Its roads survived centuries. Its influence became the foundation of Western civilization. Every monetary collapse in history has cleared the path for something truer, something more grounded, something real. Today, the world is drifting toward a reset. Not the conspiracy kind, the historical kind. A return to value, a return to discipline, a return to systems that cannot be faked with keystrokes or promises. The digital empire will end, not in fire, not in war, but in realization. When people understand that trust cannot be printed, cannot be coded, cannot be enforced. Rome's silver failed the test of trust. Paper money failed the test of discipline. Digital money will face the test of control. The question is not whether the system breaks, but whether we learn before it does. Because every illusion of stability eventually collapses. Every empire built on confidence alone eventually cracks. And every society that forgets the lessons of value is forced to relearn them in harsher ways. When the digital empire falters when a login screen says, "Access denied," those who hold real value, real assets, real understanding will endure the storm. It will be quiet, soft, digital, and it has already begun. Thanks for watching. If you found this perspective valuable, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that challenges the way we see the world.